I've spent over a decade in human resources, and I used to believe resilience was a superpower. That if we just trained people hard enough, coached them long enough, and gave them the right apps, they'd be able to survive anything work threw at them. But somewhere along the way, resilience stopped being a strength and became a requirement, a mask, an excuse to keep pushing people further without ever asking what they were supposed to be recovering from. We told people to bounce back, but we never asked if it was safe for them to begin with, or if the problem wasn't them at all, but the system around them. Over the years, I've seen burnout dressed up as dedication, anxiety rebranded as high performance, grief tucked into the corners of spreadsheets. We've made mental health a hashtag, but what we haven't done is slow down long enough to understand why people are breaking in the first place. And here's the part no one likes to say out loud. Sometimes, HR isn't protecting the people, it's protecting the organization. We hand out EAP brochures while quietly flagging employees who seem unstable for performance reviews. It's easy to talk about resilience when you're not the one staying silent through panic attacks, or pushing through family crises because the quarter's not over yet. We celebrate those who survive harsh cultures. We give them promotions, applause, titles like rock star. But no one talks about the therapy, the breakdowns, the lost marriages, the cost of becoming resilient. What if resilience isn't about bouncing back? What if it's about not having to break at all? This isn't an attack on resilience, it's a call to stop glamorizing survival and start creating spaces where people don't have to keep surviving. The business of burnout. Somewhere along the line, burnout became business as usual. Not a red flag, not a crisis, but an unspoken expectation. We ask people to be productive, proactive, positive, all the time, even when they're unraveling inside. Wellness programs have become performance theater, free yoga, mental health webinars, or coloring books on Wellness Wednesdays. But workloads don't change, expectations don't shift, and no one dares to take the day off. People aren't breaking because they're weak, they're breaking because the systems we built are not designed for human sustainability. After the pandemic, mental health became a buzzword. But the deeper truth? We kept the pressure, removed the boundaries, and repackaged stress as opportunity. We say, take care of yourself, while celebrating those who never log off. We push performance goals higher each quarter, then act surprised when people collapse beneath them. Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's easier to fix people than to fix systems. So instead of dealing with toxic leadership, poor workload design, or unsafe cultures, we send people links to mental health apps. Burnout isn't solved with breathwork. It's solved when we stop asking people to bleed emotionally for a paycheck. We need to stop blaming individuals for what are organizational failures. Because emotional resilience without emotional safety is just survival. When people leave, we hold exit interviews. But the truth? The exit started long before the resignation. It started the day they realized being honest about their pain made them a liability. This is the business of burnout. Profit over people, politeness over truth, and silence packaged as professionalism. Resilience redefined. So what if we stopped celebrating who can take the most pain and started honoring those who refuse to normalize it? What if resilience wasn't about bouncing back, but about never needing to shatter to be seen? Real resilience isn't a buzzword. It's what happens when people feel safe enough to rest, to be human at work. Not perfect, not robotic, just whole. Resilience is fostered, not forced. It lives in how we design jobs, not just how we fill them. It shows up when feedback is safe, when failure isn't fatal, and when leaders lead with empathy, not just efficiency. You can't meditate your way out of a toxic boss. You can't journal your way through systemic overwork. And no amount of positive mindset will fix a culture built on fear. But here's the good news. We can change this. And the best part? It doesn't require another budget cycle or a 10-step mental health plan. Want a resilient workforce? Create a humane one. Build systems that allow people to pause, process, and heal without fear of losing their place. Because the opposite of burnout isn't productivity, it's dignity, it's care. It's a workplace that stops asking people to prove their pain just to be believed. Resilience is not how much we can take, it's what we're willing to change so that people don't have to take it anymore. Mental health at work isn't a campaign, it's a contract. Unspoken, but sacred. And maybe it's time we rewrote it, together.